Okay, so this is Teaching Tuesday. We're going to split it. I'm not sure how we're going to split it time-wise, but we're going to split it between a discussion I think that David was talking about with Mike Carroll, and we're going to also then go through Luke and Anna's PDF, which they've pre-processed, review the labels and the form fields, because we haven't done that in a while. Okay, so who's going to kick us off, David?
And Quentin was the one who was been talking to Mike, so Quentin?
Oh,
this is like a routine or something.
Who's on first?
Mike, I'm going to leave it to you. So I told you no. What do you want to do? Do you want to learn a little bit about PDF labeling? Luke and Anna, or if you have limited time, I told you one, so we could jump to your questions, and otherwise it's up to you.
In the garage. What is going on?
I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I have a lot of background noise from outside.
Okay.
Oh. It sounded like the car started in your living room.
It did. So he asked, so what do you think, Mike?
So we could do the labeling thing, or if you want to show me how to, or like help me with like making like what's that, objects, like when you use the period instead of the underscores.
Object periods and underscores are not related, but we can definitely talk about that. Which is there one you'd prefer at the moment? Are you pressed for time?
No. So we're like, I don't know how to explain this. We're trying to make it so that way, like all that autofill stuff where like if you're typing in your address and it just like uses Google to like fill all that stuff in. I mean, what are those called?
It is related in Michelle, because what happened was he used a new label. Remember, this is when we were talking about it yesterday, actually. And I told you that, Mike, too. We were talking about in our coding meeting, how when you create a new prefix is what we're calling it in our documentation for a person's name, it doesn't turn into an object. Therefore, it stays labeled with underscores, and it's not getting any
Got it. Oh, okay.
Address, name,
cool.
And so signature, even in this case.
My bad. I apologize. Yeah.
So we're gonna try to do a little bit of. We've already gone through one round of adjusting some of your variables, and we met this morning to talk about it a little bit, and now we're just going to try a little bit more cleanup and make sure you have a good model for finishing the document, basically, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's jump into where you are.
You want me to share my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
So Luke and Anna, you'll be doing this kind of thing very soon.
All right, can you guys see that?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so.
And this actually relates really well to some of the goals of having review of your PDF, which we didn't do for you, Mike, I realize, but we're gonna do it for Luke and Anna in a little bit.
What do you mean, like making sure we labeled the fields correctly and stuff like that, like on the PDF?
Well, correct is like too strong, because here you had 4 names, which we didn't have any way for you to handle yet, so it wasn't necessarily incorrect. But yeah.
Consistent or?
Yep, matching what our standards are on our project at least.
Okay. All right.
So I think what we figured out is principal we could get rid of, because principal we changed to be user, because it's actually. But it's a good model anyway if you want to look at how to change the rest.
I don't know what I did because I.
No, when we met in our stand-up meeting last week, we created principal, and if you're using user or users bracket 0 to be more specific, you actually don't have to change this, Mike. You can just delete it because we have a question that's built in that handles all of it.
So delete all of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. So go ahead and delete. You don't have to delete the rest of it, but you might, just so you're not confused.
So get rid of all of this?
Yeah. Now let's think about what else we're trying to do. So don't delete the objects block right above it, but delete what you're deleting right now. Go ahead and delete everything you have highlighted. Okay. So let's scroll up on your list of variables in the right, the red, all the red. So it looks like we have a syntax error, which is kind of masking. Maybe if you hit save now, we might have got rid of the syntax error. It might have been because we just deleted part of the block. I'm not sure.
Mm-mm.
There's another error somewhere. But I think I remember.
If you run, it might give you some clues.
Yeah, that'll just take us away from where we just are, though. So, but that's okay. All right. I actually did give us a clue that I think is a really simple error. So let's look at the error again. You see there where it says syntax error field label dash unit. Well, I already know right away that dash unit isn't a valid field label. So I'm guessing. No, actually, I don't know that for sure. Looks like maybe it was in quotes.
Because it was working.
We might just be missing a separator between two blocks.
All right.
Because it's actually telling us it's a duplicate field label.
So here is where.
So there's dash unit. I just saw it. It's
Yeah.
indented too far and it doesn't have a space.
Yep.
Where
So
should
one more.
Yeah, so it got squished into thinking it's part of the previous label. That's why it.
And then add a space after the dash.
Right, still at line 105, Mike. Where you were.
Okay, well, that fixed that error.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now we can
Sound
move
like
on to
me. Every time I get an error fixed, I'm like, oh, well, that works.
Moving right along. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we have a couple of things we want to change. It looks like right away we can see we have agent as what really should be a person, but our questions don't treat it as a person, right?
Right. So we need to rename agent to something else.
Actually, what I recommend that we do is we delete this block between 119 and the beginning of the block. I can't tell exactly what line number that's on.
This whole block.
Like all the way to the top of it.
This actually. I guess we can't fully do that. I take that back. Because you want to customize the text. This is also part of our discussion yesterday. How do you customize questions for new people? Okay. We do want to make agent into a object. And we can look at how we made principal into an object and just replace the name principal with agent.
Well, copy and right, I assume.
Let's look at, there we go, objects. We have principal. We're not, principal is no longer going to be in our object, in our form at all. So we can replace principal with agent.
Just make this agent.
Yeah. Because we don't use principal, and if you wanted to add other people to the form as people objects, you would make a duplicate of this line, like Michelle said, and change, and then you'd leave the part on the right the same. To explain what we're doing here, we're making an object named agent, and it's of a particular kind. It's going to follow the blueprint for a VC individual. So it's going to get all the properties of a VC individual, which we've made for our project, and it has a couple of useful things. It's actually not part of the question block, so we can leave it exactly, and we can actually have multiple entries. So we definitely want it to be separated by 3 dashes to line 98, but also you can just delete lines 95 and 96. We don't have to make it a separate object block each time.
Ah, okay. So we can like delineate all our objects in this one objects block.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're going to make a new line and put 3 dashes on it to separate.
Okay, but we also have a different individual that I kind of want to designate. Should I
Okay,
put that?
yeah, so let's keep going and duplicate that for the rest of the lines here.
Okay.
This will get you started. It won't be finished because I don't think we can go through all of the 4. I think you have witnesses already taken care of, right? So it's alternate and representative. Okay.
I think that's it now.
Okay. All right, and we're going to separate it from the next block with 3 dashes.
I think I gotta move it over one.
Yeah, move it to the beginning of the line. It automatically follows the indentation, which can be helpful and it can sometimes be annoying. Okay. So for agent name, I think we're going to use this question and sub-question. So let's change that to agent agent.name.first. You can decide if you want to ask for the healthcare proxy's full name as one name, or if you want to let someone enter it in 4 parts.
I think the 4 parts is better for
4 parts
consistency.
is better. Yeah.
Okay, so then, oh, sorry, dude, there's like people leaf blowing outside my house now.
No, it's okay. We can still hear it. So I think address, we can get rid of all of the questions about the address. So let's do that.
Sorry, what were you saying?
We already have a way if it's a person from the VC individual class. We have address questions that will work just fine. So delete all the lines here about the address.
Okay.
So everything from line 105 down to the end of the block, I think. We also will have questions about email, and we won't have mobile and work number. So maybe
Leave that.
maybe keep all of those mobile phone, work number, and email together, but make the address be on its own page.
So
You
get
can
just
change
delete.
this later. But I want to show, I think it's helpful to show how we're going to use a built-in question and one that's customized. Might rearrange the order of these fields a little bit later. Okay, so we want to make agent.name.first. That looks good. You might want to add in middle, last, and suffix, and I'll let you do that from finding a model a little bit later.
Okay, so just leave this alone for now.
And we could leave agent, phone, and work. We can leave those as they are, because those do exist as built-in questions, but I think the benefit you get from using them here isn't very high. So let's leave those for now. Okay. Now it's saying that there's a reference to these attributes, agent address city with underscores, that we have to fix. And do you remember where we were fixing a similar thing this morning with principal?
In the down in this guy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So one thing that is confusing and different is that actually we know there's only one agent, so we didn't make it a list. So you can get rid of the bracket 0 here
Okay.
for each of those. Move that out of your way. All right, let's save it and see if that's, and then agent name 237, we're going to replace with just agent.
Save and run.
Yeah, sure. We could also save it and see what happens to those missing names that it was reporting. It's still saying they're even defined ones. Okay, actually, I think you have to refresh this to see if it's updated, because obviously it ran. I don't think those are actual errors. No. Let's see where else those are referenced. I'm actually guessing it might be in the interview order block. So we want to update that too. Remember, we said there are 3 places to update it when you make a change to variable name. We have agent underscore name on line 53. We want to fix that to agent.name.first, because that's the variable we're defining.
Okay.
And let's scroll down a little bit and see. I don't see other references there, so that's not where the other ones are. Let's try hitting the search icon, that little magnifying lens, to see if we can, oops, not the name. So hit undo, Control Z or Command Z, and hit the little search icon next to the name. When you click the name, it inserts it into your text. Let's keep going, because this is not it, because on the left is the PDF label. That can be whatever we want. On the right is what is the actual variable name it should be trying to define. Let's see if we can find it.
So search again?
Yeah, let's keep searching through and see if we can see. Okay. All right, we can delete these parts of the review screen.
So get rid of this?
Yeah. This is, you're one of the first people to have this experiment with the review screen. that are auto-generated. So we'll see how well they work, and you might find out that they don't work very well, but we'll see. So 307 up until we catch the beginning of those things we just changed. I can see one limit already, which is, well, it's not that important one actually.
So to like there,
Sure.
delete.
Yeah, delete those.
Dude.
Okay. I think those problems wouldn't have caused, it's showing as an undefined name, but I don't think those would have caused a problem actually. So it's okay, but let's just do a save and run now and see.
Okay.
I think this might be what you were trying to solve, Mike. But let's try running it, and I guess we can see if we get to the end or if there's another place that we have a little bit of time to dive into.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna remove this. So save and run again.
I think you're good. I think that you already did a save and run.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, you're okay. You don't have to do it again, but you can.
Okay. So
No,
now,
let's see it. We can go ahead and find see if it runs through to the end or if there's another place you're stuck. Let's go ahead and get to that.
Oh.
Variable user. All right, let's see if we can find where it's referenced. Scroll down to the bottom of the file here. Okay, so we have user dot named at first. We want to change that to users 0, bracket 0. So actually all of those 3,
Okay.
we're going to change to look like that.
It doesn't say what code, like what line this is on.
It doesn't tell you what line, but we know it's this block because it says here, tried to run block, and that's where the error came from.
All right. So
I read these from bottom to top. So I look down to see what it's looking for, and then I scroll up to see the most recent reference. And then sometimes there's several chained blocks it'll show you that reference it. By the way, a cool new feature in DocAssemble is if you want to get that little backward referencing to find where a variable is mentioned, you can click this little bulleted list icon. And that'll let you scroll through and see the variables you have and where they're referenced. So if you click on any of those, obviously this is a really long list, but you can see where it's defined and where it's mentioned. So that's another debugging tool that's helpful. I haven't gotten too used to using it yet because it's really new, but you might find it helpful.
Okay.
All right, let's change.
So this
50, 49, 50, and 51. Say users bracket 0. And
All right.
we do want to change line 49 too. I saw you hesitated there for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, one more thing I'm noticing is we want to ask for the agent's address, right? We moved that
Yeah.
to own screen, so let's add that now since we're here.
And so agent dot address.
Well, let's look at our model on line 50 and try to mirror that.
Okay. But we don't need the bracket 0, right? You said because it's not
Correct.
a list.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that part. That part's probably the most confusing part, that what lists are. And we're going to hand wave over it for now.
Okay. Okay. And then do I need to do? Okay, so that looks good.
This looks good.
So save and run.
Yep.
Or can I just refresh this now?
If you save it in the other window first, then you can refresh.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so we've got our questions, and see this question that you just saw, if we go back, that was one of the ones that you didn't write, but because we made it a person object, it knew how to ask the question about the person's address.
Okay. Awesome. So should I keep going?
Yeah, and I think we may not be able to resolve any other errors, but let's see how far we get.
Okay.
I think time-wise, we probably won't
Sure.
solve any other problems, but actually, I think you got it working to a download screen before, so I think we should be good. I don't want to deny you the moment to be able to see what that it actually worked. You're done.
So now, oh wait, no, we didn't do an address for the witnesses yet. Okay. Because remember we were having that issue where it would then ask for the address when you were going to sign too. All right, but see, it still isn't.
So that I'm going to say is going to be something connected to the attachment block or the PDF labels.
Okay.
So that's where I would look and do a little research, and maybe we can solve it
Tomorrow.
Maybe next week.
All right, but I mean, pretty close. The only thing it looks like maybe I just need to relabel that.
Yeah, it might need to get relabeled, or maybe we just have it mapped wrong.
Okay.
In the attachment block, it's going to be one of those two things probably.
I'll try to troubleshoot that today for tomorrow.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right, so cool. Thank you.
All right, you're
Okay,
welcome.
so we're going to move over now to Luke and Anna.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Probably a decent move.
How do I do it?
So that bar at the top, if you made that bar disappear, you can press
there we go.
escape to,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so
Thank
Luke, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I'll share my my Adobe screen. Okay. All right. Can everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay.
So now,
So-
essentially what we're doing now is we're doing the quality assurance, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know, does anybody else want to take Luke and Anna through this, or can I just take the lead on it?
I think it's great. If go ahead and take the lead on it.
Okay, so the first thing that I do is I actually just check the actual boxes and stuff before I check the labels. A quick way to do that is for boxes that are like, you can actually just hold and drag to select all of them. So for example, up until, form alert, you can just drag over all of those.
What? Like, you want me to just
Down a little bit
open all
more,
of them?
down a little bit more. So, no, up a little bit more. There,
Huh?
yeah. So you don't want to cover the check boxes. And then you can press, are you on Mac or on
PC.
PC? Okay, so then you can just press Control I think it is. And it opens up your properties. And now what you want to do is you just want to go to Appearance. Okay, so you want it to be font size 10. Helvetica, that's right. And then position at the top there again. No, that's fine. And then options. Alignment left, and then you're going to want to uncheck scroll long text, because what that does is basically if you print out the PDF, cuts off if you have more text in there than can be shown. Okay, so then you press close.
And then I would check again.
Yeah,
Or just like click on one.
just click on one random one. Yeah.
Well, no, I've found that sometimes it leaves ones behind.
Hmm.
But
So
you
check them
can,
all?
Do a new drag. Is that your point? To
yeah.
make sure you captured things that maybe you didn't quite hit the corner of one of them or something.
Nope.
Mm,
Okay.
no,
Control
but it
I.
looks the other thing is you can set that to the default. So if you right click on them, and you can set that to default.
Okay. So left.
No, it worked perfectly. I guess it's just my computer.
But Michelle, you are right. Sometimes the font size and the font itself doesn't always get pulled through. So Okay, so that's the first batch. And then if we scroll down a little bit, you'll see that there's those 2 checkboxes.
Yep.
You just want to go over those 2. Caroline, what are you doing?
What?
No, Caroline's being funny. Okay, so then
They're not.
yeah,
They're not level. That's what I mean. That's all.
yeah,
I'm
we'll
saying.
talk
They're
about
not
that just
level.
now.
Oh,
Okay, so
sorry.
then
Yeah.
options.
Yeah.
Oh, Caroline, look what you've done. Okay, and then you want to say checkbox style is a check. That's correct. Because sometimes there's like a cross, which sometimes happens. But you want it to be check. Okay, so then close. And now you can try and just grab as many cells as you can that are the same style. Basically what will happen is if you drag over a checkbox and a text field, it won't show it properly. So maybe if you just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so just try grab all of those text boxes in question 3. Oh, no,
Not check fields.
not the checkboxes, yeah. Control I and just check again. So you want to check the main things you want to do, yeah, is scroll along text and then appearance. Okay. So again, it's going to be, yeah.
Okay.
One thing that might, in this form, I'll see if it comes up. If it doesn't, then I'll mention it at the end, is the multi-line. But okay, so you can just press close and then I think there was some checkboxes. Yeah, just do that one checkbox.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Is the font size the right font size?
For checkboxes, there's no font size.
Oh, interesting. Mine had font sizes. Mine's special.
So here you could actually, yeah, that's perfect.
Oh,
so
but
yes.
So this one's multi-line.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I was going to say. So you want to just get over 4. You guys have read that documentation, man. So impressed. Okay, so if you just exit out of this and just do the first.
We want to turn off scroll text though, right? Oh, you're saying do it.
Yeah, so just for those, just deal with like boxes alike basically, and then just check the appearance.
Yep.
Font size 10.
Yep.
So now when it comes
I
to
think if you change the default, it might change other ones too. So you might want to try right-clicking and changing the default.
You think changing the default will change the fields that already have a value?
It did for me, but no, you want to
wait.
not double-click. Yep, all the way at the bottom.
Did anyone else see that it said 12?
Yeah, I saw.
Did say 12, yeah. This might be Michelle's phantom font size thing.
Phantom properties in general, I'm telling you.
This is what like a good 4 weeks of the project was.
Yeah.
Just- Maybe that one's sticky.
That's 12. You just did 12 again. You wrote 12.
Did I?
You wrote, yes, you wrote 12. So
What I sometimes then do is I press locked to see it. Okay, well, it worked.
yeah, and mine does not, lock does not help with, but right click it and hit as
Use
defaults.
current properties as new default.
Yep, as long as you've made sure that the properties are the correct properties.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so then this is, Anna was correct. This is a long text one, right? Because you can have 2 rows in there.
Oh, we
The
wanna get rid of-
scrolling.
So you don't want the scroll, but you want the multi-line because you want the user to be able to, the text to go onto the next line.
Mhm.
So that's correct. And then
Only
Sorry.
one line's going to fit here, though. I suspect only one line is going to fit. I wonder if you can
You can
This-
try when you try to fill it out.
like that, and you might be able to move up box at line 5, so there's room to make that box bigger. But
yeah,
Okay.
I'm probably going to get smacked down for bringing it up now. Sorry, I'll shut up.
Like
And-
that.
no, actually
And I
maybe
would-
question 5 up.
Oh
But
wait, it's appropriate time. Sorry.
And I would also make it wider to give the user a bit more room, as wide as you can, really.
no,
Well, it still needs to be able to
not
print.
that wide.
Right. But no. Maeve was joking. Maeve was joking. Out by the 5 is good. Out by
Yeah.
5 is good. Maeve, confusing the situation.
Okay, and then you got a checkbox there, and then now this is where we might need some SME stuff, because here, so usually what would happen is there would be a signature field, right? Okay, you can close this. This looks good.
Yeah.
And you just want to change those. Yeah, that one and then signature date. So usually what would happen is you'd have a signature field where you have to add the electronic signature. But here, guys, I don't know what to do. It says sign in the presence of a notary. Maybe SMEs on the.
I thought we weren't.
There's a standing order that says there's no notary required right now. So I think it would just be the particular signature.
That's what we were thinking, was like, if they're not going to have to use a notary, so just use the existing signature line and know that the court's not going to expect them to have a notary.
Okay, so that sounds good. So then what we would do is, I think there's been some confusion about the label name, but if you would delete that field, basically whenever you're going to want to use a signature, you're going to want to have it as an electronic signature field. So the way you get that is you just close this, you just delete.
But let's do that later, because unless all we have is the signature left, because let's instead of going back and forth between things.
Okay. Well, we can leave that for now.
That would be a good reminder that we're going to delete it.
Yeah, go ahead and delete it.
It doesn't require a new tool.
And generally speaking, give fields the maximum kind of space they can have.
That's the next thing that I was going to say when we do the second pass. Is like you basically want the text field to kind of like go as wide as the line or whatever, kind of fill the space provided.
Okay.
And then do that again. Keep them selected and just keep hitting properties until you're sure all the properties have been set. I bet there's some other ones that.
I wonder if it changes if you wait a second after you hit 10.
You can hit enter.
If you click out of it, if you click out of the 10, so if you do 10 and then you tap like anywhere else on the.
It's like it's applying. There you go.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll keep it now. Okay. Or if you chose it from the drop down. I wonder if either of those approaches would make it.
Okay, well now we don't know what it was.
Click out. Well, we don't, because one theory I had was that it was doing it per field sometimes, but maybe not. Maybe the clicking out does it. That would be awesome.
Okay, perfect.
Adobe Acrobat is not the best tool in the world.
No, it's certainly.
Anyway.
All right, and then this is where we put the extra, like,
addendum, so to speak.
That's a good idea. I mean, we do have the flexibility, since it's our own form anyway, that we don't have to use a PDF as the addendum, but maybe it's good just for consistency. So.
And clicked outside.
One thing I would say is it's not for now, but if you're using a trial, you might want to just get ready for it early. We probably don't want to show this if it's a blank page of no names.
Yeah.
Right.
We want it to be a separate document at some point. So before your trial expires and we've made sure everything works the way you want it to, we're going to split that off into its own PDF. We can combine it later with the court, but it'll be an optional extra page.
Okay.
So it'll only get triggered if they add more names.
Leave it for now, or?
Yeah, leave it for now, because I don't think this is the best time to do it. Just do it before your trial expires.
Okay, so now the next thing that I don't think we need to do while we're on this call, but that I would like to just show you
the signatures, right? Oh, sorry, I didn't hear.
So make everything as wide as possible.
Yeah, so that is something that you can do at a later stage, and then you can re-upload the template. And what you'll often find is if you scroll up a little bit, Caroline pointed it out, you'll see there at point 3, the checkboxes aren't like in line.
Yeah.
And I did drop you, or it is in the documentation that I sent you, the wizard that just checks your PDF.
Mm-hmm.
We'll run through that just now, and then you'll be able to see like.
Oh, you want me to do that right now?
No. Sorry, that's the last step. Okay, so So, but this, what I'm saying
Delete
is
the other signature field, sorry, before we move on.
so what I'm saying is that you can,
Oh, the
sorry,
attorney.
do you mind if we just do one thing at a,
Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry.
okay, so if you
Carry on.
scroll all the way back up, please, Luke.
Yep.
Okay, so basically what's gonna happen is you're gonna, at a later stage, you can move around the field spacing, and between the two of you, like, you can just do that, and it's a bit of a finicky job. So I don't think it's wise to do it on this call, but it doesn't really make any material difference in terms of like uploading the document, right? You can just upload the template again later on with the revised movements. And you'll often find like when you're testing it, you might want to move stuff around again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to quickly do the signatures.
Okay.
So the first signature is up there.
Yep.
The way you add a signature field is with the pen with a little line next to it. Next one, yeah. I think that should be it. Or no, maybe it's no, sorry. If you just X out of that, or I don't know how to get rid of that. You basically want to get, if you just say close.
Okay.
Well, I think it's under more tools.
Yeah, it was,
Under more tools.
I just saw it as you clicked on there, it was like, it's not the, if you just go to fill in sign again.
Here?
Yeah.
Maybe is it
Request signatures?
No, that's not request signature. I haven't done this in so long.
I might be able to find it because I just sent it to somebody, but I have to Google it because I don't have this version of Acrobat. I have to
Right,
Google
me
it.
either. Right? Okay, so maybe if we press close again, can we quickly just save the document that we've been working on?
Yeah,
Just in
I
case.
just saved it. I'll save it again.
Okay, thank you. So there should be something like a little icon where you can
I
add.
think you have to select more first.
Okay.
In the PDF editor, shoot,
Yeah,
went away from there.
Right
The
there with
like,
like another line below it. There should be like another line below that toolbar that says like it's got like a little icon.
so the way it appears on mine is that I go to the tool that we were at before, and then I go to the more tools stuff. If we go to the, if we go to the, not that one, but maybe
Not
it'll
this
have
one?
it. Not this one, but
Wait,
the
just
one we
try
were
more?
just at.
I don't know what I did. Page 2, primary scan page. Well, this is not what I
So
wanted.
it's like edit PDF fields or form editor or field editor or something.
Found the page. I linked to it. So if we don't find it,
Like if you hit the tools page.
Sure. Like go, like from here.
Sure, let's try
Okay,
that.
prepare form. That's where we need to go.
Prepare form.
Yeah.
Now hit
And
the
then-
more tools that are right there to the right. I'll try and get an annotation tool. Yeah, right here.
Here.
Here. Nope. So go back to prepare form.
I feel like we're
Right,
about to
now
get-
hit the tools over here. Like hit
Okay.
this drop down and then revert to Adobe Acrobat form.
Okay.
oh, it wasn't an Acrobat form.
And
Or no, you
then
just changed it. Okay, never mind.
this is what you want.
that one.
I just
yeah,
spent
that's the
2
one.
days trying to figure this out.
Oh,
Okay,
so you
this
had
one-
made like a live cycle form or something, Michelle, without realizing it?
And
Is
then
that
you
what was
just-
going on?
No, I swear it was.
This is what I was
was
saying,
the
it's like
same
it's very
file. I finally
finicky.
made it work though.
And then you drag a little bit down. Okay, and then we can just leave it as signature 1 for now, because when we go through and we do the labels, we can then add in a nice label later. Okay, so now you want to
No,
add in an, what,
Don't
Michelle?
copy it, just do a different one.
Yeah, you
That's
need to
my
do a new.
recommendation on page 2. Whatever page this is.
Okay.
It's not even a page 2. Lucky son of a gun.
And those are the only 2 signatures that we need.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, perfect. So next step is to go through, and this is where I'm going to need Michelle and Quentin's help. So Anna and Luke have actually gone through the naming convention, and you can see that by how they've done it looks really, really good. And they've done the double underscores and the twos and stuff like this. But I see some where I'm a little bit concerned about. So like, for example, like question 3. So perhaps we can just go through all of them. This is a kind of like a general QA process. Make sure that they all make sense. And I just wanted to ask, the first question is...
Oh, that is it. That's it. Username last.
And 2. And 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a way that I edit, so as I said, mine doesn't look the same, but like you edit by actually going into the right pane where it's got the and then you can just click once, maybe twice, I can't remember what it was. And then you can just, okay, so let's go through. Would an attorney ever be a user of this form?
So we weren't quite sure about that, which is why we filled in all the attorney boxes at the bottom. But based on what I saw from the instructions on using these forms, it's possible an attorney could use it to fill it out on behalf of a petitioner. Although from when I did it in DC, it seems more likely it's going to be a petitioner doing it themselves.
Okay. So this is an issue that we have with our civil action cover sheet. Kind of the opposite, where it can be filled out by a plaintiff or by a attorney, but most likely it's going to be filled out by an attorney, right? This led to confusion down the line because we used a variety of different variables for user, attorney, and all this kind of stuff. So maybe we can just speak to Quentin and Michelle about the best variables to identify the different people involved in this form.
That's a really interesting point. So I think that we generally don't mean user to literally mean the person who's on the app, which I didn't even think about being an area of confusion before. We are using it to mean the person whose interests are represented by the form, right? So if they're filing an answer, they're a defendant or respondent. If they're trying to initiate a new claim, they're the petitioner or the plaintiff, but they're also the user. So
actually, I've been doing it differently.
That makes them the same.
Actually, I've been doing it differently. I've been making the user the person using the form. So for example, if you're the attorney, so maybe that's the wrong way to go about it, but.
Well, the problem is all of our code relies on the person's who's identified as the user object, which we set equal to either petitioner or plaintiff or defendant or respondent. That's the name that gets filled in all the court paperwork. And I think generally the person they're going to want to contact isn't literally the person who helped the form get filled out. Although I can see some argument for maybe it would be sometimes. If they're an attorney, maybe you would want to contact the attorney. It actually feels like it's, and apparently it wasn't clear to everybody on the team.
Yeah.
It might be something we have to clarify. But I think for now, what I would say is let's still with that convention and think of the attorney as being some other data. We have to try to switch it into user. The user as the person whose information goes on the form that we're filling in. That's not just like we're copying it from. I guess I don't have to.
Dave, you might be able to use your form as is, or if you want help, we can think about changing it. But for MVP, it might be sufficient. Sorry.
Yeah, for MVP, we just said it's sufficient.
For Maeve or for this form?
For Maeve's form.
Okay.
Yeah, we've just said that it's fine.
No, I think Maeve is already ready. Yeah. And this is how I would have filled this out based on how I understand our API, but I can see there's a confusion there, which we should think about.
So for now, leave it as user.
This will work the way that our system is set up to work the best, the way you've done it. So this is just right. And maybe we have to clarify something on our end for other people later. Easier.
Okay.
So now if we go through, I can see that you guys have, as I said, read the documentation thoroughly because you've got the double underscores. That's just a way, obviously, as you might have seen, is that the Acrobat doesn't let you have like the same name for the field twice. So it's just a way to like get
Yeah.
the same variable for this for different fields because we don't want the user to be filling in the information twice.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so now
shall
we're
we-
having a look. Let's just go through the variables, right? And as I said, the easiest way to do this is to just look at the the left pane, right pane.
So
Yeah.
I think
for
this one is supposed to be street address unit, if I recall correctly.
unit. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember exactly seeing.
I think we have street 2.
We
But
do
maybe-
as well.
It's street 2. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That might explain a different problem I was having. All right.
I think that was what we pulled from the documentation was street 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So it's just
apologize.
it's street and then street 2, I think, right?
I think that's right. I'm
Great.
going to check in the wizard to make sure.
No, it would explain a problem I had earlier, so no worries.
Okay, and then we just
what does this one? Oh, address mail street. Is that, do we want address mail or do you want user mail address? Or what would we want for that,
with all of these.
Quentin?
I'm sorry, let's take a look. So the point here is that they can give 2 different addresses.
Mhm.
Nothing will happen special with those attributes in our project, but I realize this is a common use, so we probably should start handling that in our wizard. We don't have any convention for it. But Michelle, your question is where should we put the modifier mail at the beginning or of the variable name if we made a new convention, basically.
And I
I
think
assume it'd be
on a
like
plot-
user.mail.address as opposed to,
Yeah, that's what we would probably make it. So
and maybe
Okay.
user.mailing.address. It's longer, but it is more in conjunction with the actual language.
so put the word mail, replace
Yeah, but mail or
address with
mailing,
mailing address would maybe be the most make the most sense.
as in the same part or separated by an underscore, like mail.
Yeah, just like you have it with an underscore. I think user mail address is clear enough that the shortness is worth it, but since it doesn't do anything automatic yet anyway, we won't make you follow our convention we haven't created yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so I will do that. Can we do that now, just quickly?
it's just like 2 more fields, so I think that's okay. I guess 3 more fields.
Also, you can use that list that Maeve was telling you about on the right instead of clicking
I
on
know, but this is how I did it before, so it's like,
I'm exactly the same. Like if someone's like, you can do this way, and I'm like, but I've been doing it, and I can't do it under pressure a new way, like right in front of everyone. Are you joking?
And also on the right, the thing is you can't always see it, right? So
Right. Yeah. But you also can't always see it in the text box either. Oh, I guess you can.
so that should be all changed. User mail address street. Okay. And then user phone, user email. These are called.
I have been wondering, user phone. Is that user phone or is that user mobile phone or like what do we go with for that? What are we going with right now at least?
We have a way for people to provide
their best phone number.
phone numbers.
Right, but
So
what do we?
I would put both phone numbers there if they provided 2 numbers.
Okay,
And
so
we have
that
a function that like annotates it that says cell or home.
okay.
So do we need? We don't need another field though.
No.
Okay.
I will say it complicates it a bit further than than like the straight up just PDF version. But I hear that.
If we don't make it 2 fields, you're saying?
If we either don't make it 2 fields or we don't have a question that just is what is your primary phone number, as opposed to what is your mobile phone number, etc. But that's a complication that I'm not sure how to. I haven't thought about how to deal with that complexity. So
I see your point is, I guess we can dive into this a little bit. Your point is that maybe they have a phone they consider primary, but they gave us a mobile and a home number.
mhm.
So we have to choose. I doubt that that's too relevant, but it
Well,
might be for some special cases. But I
sure.
think I get your point. In most
Yeah.
cases, probably wouldn't provide a phone number they can't be reached at, but
Yeah. And yeah.
if it's optional, at least.
Yeah, I
You're right.
just mean yeah. I mean, when if you're going straight for a like straight to PDF thing, right? Or as, as little work to PDF as possible, then either it would be 2 fields or there would be a question about just a primary phone number. And we would on, the back just call it other phone or phone other or whatever we thought was appropriate.
I don't think I understand, but it's okay.
Okay.
I think that we don't have to change it for now. I think it's the key.
Okay. Not 2
Okay.
fields even?
It doesn't ask for, no, I don't think so. It would be hard to fit it in there potentially. That's actually something you'll have to check to see if you can fit. When we ask for 2 phones, we might have to force someone to just give us their one best phone number. But I don't think you could fit 2 fields there.
You might be able to fit them vertically. Never mind. We don't have to think about this right now. Anyway.
That's the answer is we don't now, really.
Yeah.
We called user prior name change no, and then user prior name change yes.
Yep, I think you guys have done that
That's great.
perfectly. Nailed it. It took me so long to get the hang of that, but you did it in one go.
And then
And
for
then for these, we weren't sure if we should put the number after change or after like from to reason. So it's user prior name change 1 from, user prior name change 1 to, user prior name change 1 reason, and then
I
Yeah,
like
that's
this, and I think that
That's
it
nice.
it groups everything together really nicely. I think you guys
Mhm.
grasped that in a good way. And then I'm assuming maybe if we just go and check the other ones, it's going to be the same 4, 5, 6.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Perfect.
that's
You
great.
guys
I
are
didn't hoping we wouldn't have to change that.
hitting it out of the park. No, really good. Okay, let's see what this one is.
This one is request return of docs.
I might put a yes on the end of that
Okay.
to denote it as a checkbox.
So that might be something to clear up in our labeling docs. I think that yes, no suffix is only supposed to be for
When you have yes, no boxes.
when
Yeah.
you have your yes pair. That was the intent.
But yes, I mean, they both get changed. They both get turned into checkboxes. So this would,
There's only one checkbox here though.
right. But you would turn it into a checkbox, right? No?
You would turn it into a checkbox, but by adding yes, yes is meant to be like for a pair. Because you have 2 fields you have to fill in. It doesn't make sense to call it yes. I mean, it's not our convention.
Okay, sure,
It's the
sure.
convention we came up with. And
Okay.
it might clarify. It's actually really interesting I haven't been at this stage in a while, so it's interesting to see this.
No, me either, Quentin. It's like getting thrown right back here.
Okay.
Mm,
So then we did username first new, username middle new, username last new. For the new name, and then the username change reason. And I'll make sure that these can,
That's interesting.
any comments on any of these?
Can you, in this program, could you highlight all 3 of those names? I'm not, it looked like you were doing this manually, but can you make one of them be the size you want and then select the other 2 and make all 3 be this? Oh yeah, you've got match size there, don't you?
Oh, where do you see that option? Oh, I see.
So,
Yeah, Matt.
so if you select, make the first one be the size you want.
Okay.
Oh, that's a really handy tool.
Wow, Caroline.
I use this all the time. I use a different PDF thing, software. Yeah. And so
Okay.
then you click on that one and the other 2. I don't know if one will go red. It's the most recent. So make that one, yeah, so have all of them, and then the one with little boxes around. Make the last one be the one with little boxes around. Yeah, now
Okay.
go over to your match size.
And like match width.
And that's probably one's width. Yeah, that's what you want. Actually, you probably want both. You want width and height. You want them all to be the same size.
Okay. Okay.
And then you can
And probably align vertically.
For
Now
this
you have to grab one. You have to grab one. Yeah, separate it. And then you can align them vertically if they're, looks like they're probably not all the same size. And then again, it's the one that, so when you select all of them, the last one that has all the squares around it, that's the one that's like the model. So then you can align, I think, I'm not quite sure what these images are, but align, no, you know what? It's a line on the bottom. Maybe it's the one on the right there.
It was the one I think that
Oh,
you.
yeah. Line to bottom.
Line bottom.
Yeah, try that one. Yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
So they're the same.
That's beautiful. That's great.
I think the line.
Would we? Okay.
All these, sorry.
You can just
But it doesn't.
You can just undo.
I know, but it doesn't look like the line for this middle name ends here,
Right. You're
and
right.
the last name starts here.
Yeah, so you can adjust them individually, but at least when you do that, you get them more consistent. And then if you need to
If
tweak
you hold
them, you
shift,
can.
it'll, well, yeah. I'm wondering about the name, like thinking about this. I mean, it might not be a very, I'm tempted to hack it and do user 2 name middle, user 2 name first, so that the question happens automatically. Though I know that would make it confusing later.
Would it not make it 2 users?
It would make it 2.
Yes, it would make it 2 users, but the computer doesn't care if it's 2 users. You just put the right variables in the right places in the PDF and it's efficient.
The mapping, you're talking about the mapping, Michelle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because this isn't going to automatically ask the question, but I guess.
Well, that's an interesting question. But on the other hand, one counter for that is that we know you're going to have to write a custom explanation for this page because it's the meat of it.
That's true.
But the automatic question won't help quite as much as it normally would.
That's true.
Okay,
Unless
so
we make it
leave it or
customizable.
change it.
Leave it.
Leave it.
I would
Leave it,
Okay.
yeah.
We
Okay.
are 7 minutes over, and I don't want to keep anyone longer than we have to. So,
Okay.
Well, I think we're almost done.
we're almost
impressed
done.
we
Don't
have-
jinx it though. That's when we always spend the
2
longest.
o'clock canceled, so there was no hard stop. It was amazing.
Oh,
All right.
it's like they
Everything
knew.
lined up. Everything's coming up. Mass access. Okay. Let's change the signatures now, though, right? I want to make sure that you don't forget that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's very important.
Interpreter language, signature date, those are all fine.
So request interpreter, interpreter language, that's fine.
User signature.
User underscore signature. Yeah.
User.
Caroline, you and I might drop off and go meet with Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor Mariah's just waiting there by herself.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna swear.
Bye,
Well, I'll check
guys.
with Mariah first to see if she's. Yeah. Well. All right.
She's probably in the go-to meeting. She's not going to be on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying
I
to
was
remember
on Zoom earlier, but yeah.
that we should create, or for the virtual court. These, because actually, I should sit on more of these because it's always catching something. But if anyone remembers something that was actionable, it can put it on the Slack channel or make an issue if you can make. Know
Should
how to
we
make
about
the
the
issue.
labels?
Yeah, any of the things that I feel like there are a few things this prompted me to think about that we should change. The big one was the mailing address. It is recorded. That's true. I could watch the
I
whole
am going to drop off because Mariah's
What's the
there
whole
waiting
thing?
for me.
Okay, tell her we say hi.
Okay, bye-bye. Happy
Bye.
birthday to Miles.
Thanks. I'll pass it on.
Sorry, my bad. I'm trying to X out of this.
You have to tell him happy birthday from me, too.
Okay.
And from me, obviously, right?
Yes, obviously.
Okay, so back to the form.
Yep.
So the one thing that I just wanted to confirm this, Quentin, is that are we going to keep the attorney's signature, attorney name, and everything like this, because it doesn't seem as confusing as one, I think you can just leave it like this.
To keep it here on the form?
To keep these labels.
I think, yeah, I mean, so one extra thing this will have you and Anna do, Luke, is, and I think actually I can't see if Anna's still on too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so what you'll have to do is you'll have to make those optional and add a question that says, an attorney, how can you fill this out?
Yeah.
And the other part of it, which is where I thought actually when you brought up the user label, Abe, that you were going originally, was you have to figure out how to tell the user of the form, hey, fill this out as though you are the petitioner, because all the language will be using you pronouns, meaning the petitioner's information, not the attorney. I feel like a generally can figure it out. And,
Well, do we?
Yeah.
Could we not just put a question like in Maeve's civil action cover sheet at the beginning that says, is the person filling out this form are you trying to change your own name, or are you filling out this form on behalf of a client?
Yes, you could do that. And then that would help you could make the language reflective of that as well.
Yeah.
That would be a possibility, yes. So you can solve it one of those two ways. We haven't automated that or parameterized it, I guess. But I think it's a good solution. So, and actually, if you wanted to make that language reflect that, this is a good form to try it out on because it's otherwise straightforward.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good.
So does this look okay to everyone?
Yeah.
Attorney address, street 2. That's how we were doing it. Attorney address.
Only thing, I think maybe attorney BBO number, we might have changed to attorney _ BBO. I can't remember if we're using it anywhere else. That might be something to make sure to add in. Let me check just in case.
Okay, and then lastly, I'm just going to drop this to Luke. It's the PDF debugging wizard. This is the last step in kind of getting your PDF ready to get up into the wizard.
Okay.
Okay. So you save it, and then this is a very handy tool that Quentin built for us. It basically, have you guys run it through this yet?
Okay. I'll put it in here. That is not what I meant to do. All right, so I'll share with this in a minute, but you guys can just see my Acrobat. You can't see.
Yeah.
This, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll put this in there. And then you just press continue.
Oh, sorry.
I can.
Can
You want me to switch the share?
Yeah. Can we see the? As much as we enjoy you painting us a word picture. Okay.
Okay. So
now,
it's in there.
Yeah. Now you press continue. And basically what this does is it checks the field that you've got all the fields identified, and it picks up when it's bold. It means that it's already, there's going to be a basic question for that. So what you'll do is when you go through the wizard, you'll see the unbolded questions, the unbolded variables. It will prompt you for questions on those. This is also just a way to just do kind of like a rough spell check, make sure that you haven't missed anything. Kind of just glance over at something that you might have missed in the Acrobat. You can also see in the middle column what kind of field it is, but I think we've checked all of those already, so you can just if anything's stuck out to you. And then there's some scary, I don't know why, Quentin, why did you put these iconography, like?
I don't remember.
Where?
It's been a while since I did it. That's supposed to show up in the icon. If you see those icons, there's a problem. But if there's not, then there's no problem. Maybe I should hide that if there's no things that have those icons. You have all safe fields. You're okay.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So now you go continue.
Okay.
And then what it does now is it kind of fills in that electronic signature, and it puts in, I think it puts in the labels into the text field. So you kind of see what it looks like, and it checks all the checkboxes. And this is what I was talking about when Caroline was saying that the checkboxes aren't matched. You should be able to. Quentin, why is it taking so long?
I don't know. It might just be, it can be a little slow sometimes.
Okay, perfect. So now that is Quentin's signature. If you just scroll down.
I cannot scroll down. No.
Is it still loading something maybe?
Maybe.
Looks like it hasn't finished showing the PDF. It says 3 pages, which is
Okay,
Oh,
there we
here
go.
we go.
There we go.
Guys,
Okay.
the joy when you get your code working. I can't tell you how exciting it is.
so now we can make it bigger. If you click on it, it should open in your browser and we can see. We can look at the
Okay.
fields. Really.
So you can see there what the size kind of looks like of the font. And you can see how those checkboxes kind of look a little bit weird. You're gonna want to like make
Yep.
those expand to the full thing.
Okay.
But if you scroll down a little bit, you can then also see where the signature populates.
Okay.
Just to make sure that that is in fact an electronic signature field.
Okay.
And this all looks good.
Okay.
So the next step is to run it through the wizard. Quentin, is there a new link for the wizard, or is it the old link and it just got updated?
It's the old link and it got updated.
Okay, perfect. I'll drop you guys that thing, and then, as I said, I might, take you guys through it on the first run. We can just try and figure it out together.
Mhm.
Or if you want to just try your hand at it by yourselves, you're more than welcome to do that as well.
Okay. I have to
We'll
sign in.
liaise offline.
You don't have to be signed in to use the wizard.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll drop you that link now, and then I'm really impressed with the kind of attention to detail you guys put into reading that documentation. It seems like that was pretty much one of the most flawless QAs that I've had to do. Usually, there's a lot more editing.
Yeah, that was
tables.
really cool.
Yeah,
think that-
right. I don't want to say it's all my documentation, but I think that the attention to detail that you guys had there and the kind of like intuitiveness that you guys picked up, I'm really impressed. Okay, so Mike, did you have to do that on your PDF or no? Carol, I don't know.
I'm sorry, the wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did that.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Okay, so I'll liaise with you guys offline. Thank you very much for sticking around for so long. Really appreciate it. And we will speak again on Friday.
Wait, so
Sounds
just to
good.
be clear, when are we meeting to do the wizard thing?
I'm just gonna liaise with you guys offline. I don't think that everyone
Okay.
needs to be involved in that conversation.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Great work, everyone.
Yes. Yeah.
Now the
Well done.
exciting part starts.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah, Mike can tell you like the exciting part. It's coming.
That's one word for it.
Okay. See you guys
So-
just now. Bye.
Yeah, I had to step off also, but this was really good.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we're closing it.